Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Jay's Fit Down Podcast. I'm your host Jade, and we're back here after a little brief hiatus. Back at school now at GSU, so I'm gonna continue to put these episodes out for you guys. But NFL playoffs are commended last weekend. They start off commenced rather last weekend as we saw the wild card round with Buffalo and Denver playing, which the Bills won that 31-7. Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Baltimore moves on to the divisional round, and Philadelphia and Green Bay played yesterday with Philly winning that 22-10. Also, we have Tampa Bay and Washington who played last night. Washington wins that one 23-20 off of a Zane Gonzalez game-winning field goal. So now they will go on to play the Lions in the divisional round next week. So then we got the Vikings and the Rams that could kick off tonight here to finish the wild card round, and I'm going to give my predictions on that one. I already kind of did in the last video I put up, but I'm going to continue to expand on that here in this video. So, and then got some talking points. Mike McCarthy getting out, parting ways with the Cowboys as expected. He will not return to be the Dallas Cowboys head coach. Probably the smartest thing Jerry Jones has done ever in a long time. And Mike Vrabel being hired by New England. So lot to discuss here. But before we get to that, make sure you hit that subscribe button here on YouTube. Come on, join the Jay Smith Down family. We would really love to have you guys here, and for all this content and stuff that we post here, and everything football. Going to have some college football stuff coming up as well. Got the national championship coming up, on the 20th next Monday, so a week from today. So going to be posting videos about that. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that and follow us on, Instagram, TikTok. If hopefully it doesn't get banned, and X, Jay's Fit Down Pod, and also we're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for audio podcast platforms. So if you're driving, whatever, working out, you want to listen to the show, which why wouldn't you? It's Jay's Fit Down. So you just search up Jay's Fit Down ! And you'll find it there, right? So now recapping the wild card round. As expected, pretty much all my picks were correct. I had Buffalo winning against Denver. I mean, listen, now I have to say this before Bo Nix, man, incredible rookie season, man, incredible. He led all rookie quarterbacks in passing yards, touchdowns, all that stuff. Great year for him. And unfortunately, it just wasn't enough against Buffalo, and that great defense they had. Offensively, they weren't, playing super well like we know they could. But they played good enough to get the win there at home at Highmark Stadium over the Broncos. And but first, like I said, just tip my hat off to Bo Nix for the incredible rookie year that he had, as well as Troy Franklin had a good year as well. The Broncos are going to be back, man. They're a young, good team. Nick Benito, great defensive player of the year candidate over there in Denver, double-digit sacks. So it's like Sean Payton's got a good squad up there in Colorado, and that team I expect to see in the playoffs over the next couple of years. So get used to that. Just want to give them their credit there. Now Buffalo moves on, and this is very interesting. Like the Bills, they will play the Baltimore Ravens next round. And honestly, the two MVP candidates, right, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, everybody's got different opinions on who should win it between the two. My thing is this: like, I'm not going to really dive too much into that. I honestly think the MVP, it's a stats award. Like at least that's how it's portrayed a lot of the time. So if they change it up now, then that's weird. But usually it's a stats award. So more likely than not, it'll go to Lamar Jackson. He had better stats this year. But if you're talking like overall, I mean, Josh Allen was just as important to his team as Lamar Jackson is to the Ravens, as we know, right? Josh Allen's not on the field. The Buffalo Bills are not winning virtually any games. That's established given. So those two games, like those two teams playing each other, it's going to be a very good matchup. Derrick Henry run the football there for Baltimore, and that was key for them in the win over Pittsburgh. The Steelers just could not stop that running attack from Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And Lamar Jackson as well through the air was playing very efficiently throwing the football. And that's what you want to see. That's been what I've been wanting to see from Lamar Jackson. Each year he's been in the NFL to improve that passing efficiency. That's what he's been able to do. He's been able to deliver the football down the field effectively, efficiently, accurately. And that's what you want to see in the biggest stages in the postseason, right? So hats off to Lamar there. And this is different, though, like for the Ravens, because they have Derrick Henry in the backfield, which is what they didn't have a year ago. A lot of people were saying, like, if they were to play Kansas City again, the Ravens could have a better chance theoretically. Yeah, they could theoretically if they run the ball. Still they have to make the decision to run the football, which they wouldn't do. They weren't really doing in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs last year. So that being said, I think that Baltimore and Buffalo, man, it's a tough pick. These are two great teams, two great defenses. I don't know how Taron Johnson, he had an injury in yesterday's game, so I'm not sure if he'll be back or if he'll be available for the game against Baltimore in the divisional. So that's something to keep an eye on. And he's huge, man. He's huge to that defense. Very important to their defense slot corner. He's very, that nickel. He's they play that coverage a lot, and he's extremely critical to what they do defensively. So hopefully he's okay. Man, it's a tough pick, guys. Like, honestly, I mean, I'm just going to go ahead and say that the Ravens are going to take this one. Just like I think Baltimore is going to come in here, and I think they're going to play like that running attack, man, from Henry and Jackson is going to be lethal. And for Josh Allen, I mean, your receivers are going to have to be able to step up in these big games, and they were able to do it against Denver. They got some breaks, obviously as well because the Broncos are such a young team. But against a seasoned team with a seasoned coach like like Baltimore, it's just going to be hard, right? So that's something to keep an eye on. But I got the Baltimore Ravens winning that. And then Philadelphia and Green Bay. This game last night was atrocious for the Packers. Jordan Love threw 3 picks. It was not good. I mean, the only guys who were doing anything offensively were Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed when they finally started giving him the ball. I was talking to one of my friends, Miles Kilpatrick. Shout out to him. He's a Packers fan. Sorry to put you on blast, Miles, but man, them Packers, man. What's going on with them Packers, dog? What happened? Man, the pack didn't show up. And clearly, as they just couldn't really get much going offensively. Defensively, they played all right, and it's a shame when, one side of the ball is playing really well as they can play given circumstances. And then you got the other side of the ball that's not matching that equally. And then when you have that happen, and also they had a fumble on the kick return, opening kick return of the game. And so that's special teams. So special teams and offense is not really doing their part, which is not good because 3 phases, offense, defense, special teams, all need to be in synchronization with each other. Everybody doing their jobs, playing, with each other, executing the plays what they're supposed to. That's when you win football games. And for the Packers, that wasn't the case last night. So 2 of their phases in their on their football team were not doing what they're supposed to do, and that's why they lost. Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts goes out there over 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, great game for him. Made a very critical play at the end of the game, sliding. He had a touchdown, man. He had a touchdown, but he slid down to preserve, let the time eat up so Green Bay wouldn't have a chance to get back on the field. So smart veteran move by him, and then. Tampa Bay and Washington last night, man, close game. Mike Evans, good game for him. Locked on Marshawn Lattimore, who, those two been going at it for a while, right? Blah, blah, blah. But anyway, the point is the Commanders get the win off of a Zane Gonzalez game-winning field goal, and they'll play Detroit next round. So that's going to be interesting, and I'll get to that in a second. But overall, man, like it was some great games this past weekend. Houston, I mean, they blew out the Chargers 31-32-12, and Justin Herbert 4 picks. One of them probably was his fault. 4 picks, so you can't turn the football over in playoff games. You cannot turn the football over like that and expect to win, especially in the playoffs, and that's what the Chargers did. But overall, great year. I mean, listen, if I had to grade Jim Harbaugh's first season there in LA, yeah, I'd give it like an A, like an A-, something like that. I mean, it was good. He took them from the 24th ranked scoring defense to a top 5 scoring defense. And they were able to play really good football. Ladd McConkey had a great rookie season. He's going to be a phenomenal player for that offense. Justin Herbert continues to, when he's healthy and when he's playing to his, best ability, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. I firmly believe that. So, Chargers have a good future there, and they got finally a championship-minded head coach there in Jim Harbaugh. So, So now the Vikings and the Rams play tonight to finish off the wild card round, Monday Night Football. And of course, all of our prayers and thoughts go out to everybody in LA dealing with the wildfires, and that's why they have to move this game to Arizona. So the Cardinals offered their facility. They sent planes to go pick up the Rams players to bring them here because of all that going on in LA. So that was very good on their part, just showing that some organizations in the NFL do, they go the extra mile, and that's a good thing to see. It's good for the league as well, representation wise. But this game tonight, oh man, the Vikings or the Rams. Listen, I picked the Rams getting an upset, and I'm not going to change that. I think the Rams are going to win this game. I think they have potential to beat Detroit. Like, listen, the Rams finished the season on a high note. On the last couple of weeks, their defense was one of the tops in the league. Ending the season like within the last 4 games, and offensively, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. When Kyron Williams, when they got the ground game going, offensive line is in that push off the football, off the line of scrimmage. When they get that going, that is a hard offense to stop. And yeah, it may not be as high powered and electric as it was when they won the Super Bowl in 2021, when they had that team, when Odell was on the team, they were playing Cincinnati, but it's still a high-powered offense. And Matthew Stafford is a veteran quarterback. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been in the playoffs a bunch. Well, not a bunch, but he's been in the playoffs before. So he knows, sorry to take a dig at Stafford there, but he knows what he's doing. And so that's just to put it out there. Sam Darnold, obviously not that experienced in the playoffs, and so if LA is able to get pressure on him defensively, it's not going to be a pretty game for Minnesota because under pressure, Sam Darnold is not an efficient quarterback. The Detroit game proved that in Week 18. So if the Rams want to win, they're going to have to get pressure at Sam Darnold, force him off his spot. Otherwise, if you give him all day, yeah, he'll dart you up. But so those are my keys as far as LA win. And if you're Minnesota, get the ball to your playmakers, run the ball, establish a good running game, eat up that clock, get the play action going with Sam Darnold. That's where he's at his best. Find Justin Jefferson downfield, Jalen Naylor, who's come on as of late, Jordan Addison. Like, if you can get the football to those guys out there, deep down the field, when the shots are there, just meticulously planning that, working your way down the field and hit that shot, when it's there, then that'll be a good key to win the game for you if you're Minnesota. And protecting Sam Darnold. The offensive line has got to protect him because the Rams are going to pressure him. So that's another thing to look out for. I got the Rams winning this tonight, though. And some other points of news, just some housekeeping things around the league. Mike McCarthy is out in Dallas officially. He is not returning to the Cowboys to be their head coach. We kind of expected this. His contract ended today. They didn't, not officially today, yeah, but they had like a week or so to, have contract negotiations with him. They didn't do that. So he's officially out as the head coach in Dallas. And listen, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I can't stand the Cowboys. If you watch this podcast, if you've been watching this podcast the last couple of years, then I cannot stand the Dallas Cowboys or their fans because they're obnoxious and they're delusional because they think they're going to win the Super Bowl every single year. And every single year they wet the bed. But if you're a Cowboys fan, this is a little step going in the right direction. Mike McCarthy just was not the man there for Dallas. Yeah, they had some 12 plus win seasons, past couple of years, minus this year, of course. But when they got to they still had there were still those moments, man, those lapses throughout those seasons, and then especially in the playoffs, they get there and they're not getting it done. So it's like you had to make the change at some point. And so this was the change, and it was made. Mike Vrabel got hired by New England. We kind of expected this also. So he goes to the Patriots, and this is a good fit for New England. Mike Vrabel, defensive coach. Now, albeit, offensive-minded head coach probably would have been their better option because their offense is one that's struggled to put up consistency throughout the last couple of seasons. And that's really what they need. They need a guy that has that knack for the X's and O's on the offensive side of the football, that's able to scheme their guys open, finding ways to get their playmakers to football. And so that's another thing to look out for. But I mean, Mike Vrabel was a great head coach, man. He was very well respected in Tennessee by a lot of players. And, he's a guy that's going to, preach that physicality, that toughness, and that's the Patriots type of culture. And and I mean he played there, guys. So so did Gerard Mayo. But we saw what happened there. But anyway, so those just housekeeping things. And then my next topic I wanted to discuss before we preview Detroit and Kansas City in the divisional round matchup is who is more, well, I guess it kind of ties in, but who is more upsettable in the divisional round between the Lions and the Chiefs? Now, obviously, the Chiefs, we know they turn it up come playoff time. Even though this year I feel like something's a little bit different there, but I am not stupid enough to bet against the Chiefs in any game this postseason. So when people ask me to bet on these games or bet on a Chiefs game, like I'm never like you got to take the other team because I'm not stupid. I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, Andy Reid in the postseason where they have had tremendous success, 3 Super Bowls, like 2 back to back. So if anybody's more upsettable here, it's Detroit. Washington, man, they're a gritty team. I do think that in the end, Detroit is going to just kind of their composure, their togetherness, it's gonna outweigh their advantage here against Washington, in the end, and they just have a tad bit more talent, more established talent, especially at running back with Jahmyr Gibbs and receiver you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Raymond, all those guys, and Sam Laporta, great tight end. So it's like, and defensively, a lot of guys injured. They got Alex Anzalone back, so it's going to be a good matchup for sure. But if any team between the two can be upset next round, it's going to be it'll be the Detroit Lions, not the Kansas City Chiefs. Y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. Though, what do you think? Who's the more upsettable team right there, right between the Lions and the Chiefs? And that's pretty much going to wrap us up today for the podcast. Guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in, watching, however you checking the show out. We appreciate it. Like, and hit that subscribe button, share your thoughts in the comment section. We very much appreciate it. Let me know some ideas for some videos you guys might want to see, or anything like that. I'm open to suggestions from y'all, man. This is y'all too. So y'all are part of Jake's Fit Down family, the Jake's Fit Down podcast. So let me know what you might want to see, and I will definitely, check that out and take that into consideration. But that's it, man. Y'all, hit that subscribe button. Like I said, follow us on socials, Jake's Fit Down Pod, Instagram, TikTok, and X. And also, we're on Apple Podcasts and we're on Spotify. Jay's Fit Down ! Is where you can find, just search that up. And we'll see you next time on the show. Peace.